Do you spend way too much money buying iced coffees because you either don't know how to make them at home or you're too lazy? If so, I have the perfect recipe for you to make your own iced coffee at home. This recipe is quick and can be done in under 5 minutes. You'll no longer have to spend unreasonable amounts of money every week buying coffee after trying this. Before I start, I just want to go over some quick safety tips. First, I want to say that children under 13 should not be using the blender unless they're supervised by a parent because it can be dangerous. The second thing is to make sure before plugging in your blender, the area is clear of any water so you can avoid any electrical issues. The third thing is when using a blender, make sure to blend away from any outlets just in case any leaking occurs if you overfill it. And the fourth thing is I'm going to go over all the ingredients, so make sure that you're not allergic to any of them before trying the recipe. Here are some materials you're going to need to make the iced coffee. First ingredient is 2 cups of coffee. This can be cold brew, chilled coffee from the day before, or instant coffee with warm water. The next thing you're going to need is 1.5 cups of ice. I'm using 5 large ice cubes because it's basically the same quantity. And if you're scared of ruining your blender because your ice cubes are too big, you can put them in a Ziploc bag and just smash them. The next ingredient you're going to need is 1/2 cup of milk. You can use any milk you want. If you like your iced coffee black, then you can totally just ditch the milk and put the ice in the blender with the coffee. This last ingredient is sugar, and it's totally optional, so you can add as much as you want or none at all. I find that adding 3 teaspoons makes the coffee the perfect amount of sweetness, but it's totally up to you. The last thing you're going to need is a blender, of course. Now moving on to the actual steps. Step 1. Put the ice into the blender. Step 2. Pour the milk into the blender. Step 3. Add the coffee to the blender. Step 4. Add sugar to the blender. For step 5, blend until the ice is crushed. Just make sure that when you're blending, the blender is fully closed so that it doesn't leak. For step 6, now that you're done, pour the coffee into a glass and enjoy. This has 2 servings, so you can save the rest for later or share with someone. Here's some extra tips to spice up your blended coffee. If you want to add additional sweetness, you can put whipped cream on top. If you want a hint of flavor, you can add caramel, mocha, peppermint sauce, or whatever flavor you have at home. If you want a thicker consistency, you can add a cup of vanilla ice cream instead of milk to your blender. For some quick troubleshooting, if your coffee comes out too liquidy, you can add 1/2 cup of ice and try blend again. If your coffee comes out too thick, you can add 1/4 cup of milk and try and blend again. Thanks for watching and enjoy your coffee.